Hello, I'm Emily David, Director of the Springfield Public Library and History Museum, Where Minds Grow. Thank you for taking the time to listen to a brief overview of the proposed FY25 budget for the Library Department. Along with myself, you will hear from Library Manager Carrie Shendley-Couples and Library Associate Manager Lucinda Gustafson. We appreciate the Budget Committee for volunteering your time to review our department's budget as well as the budget for the city. The work of the Library Department is divided into 4 programs: Museum, Library Operations, Library Services, and Library Collections. And a 5th program is also housed in our department, the Springfield Arts Commission. The library and the museum work to help our community discover and connect to resources for work, learning, and entertainment, both in our physical buildings as well as through online access. We work to bridge the digital divide and to promote understanding of our shared history and diverse cultures to help our community grow together. Each program is represented on this slide by a photo. In the upper left-hand photo, you get a peek through the window of the museum on the opening night of Illumination this winter. This year was the 3rd year of the Illumination projects. Illumination works to create more inclusive representation in the museum's collections by collecting the histories, stories, and photos of historically marginalized communities. The FY25 Illumination will center the American Indian, Alaskan Native community. The budget for the museum provides funding for 1 full-time curator and a 0.5 community engagement specialist position. And this year we will have a 0.5 grant-funded collections care technician. The budget also covers exhibit curation for 2 large exhibits each year, as well as many smaller ones, care and maintenance of the collections, and educational programming for all ages. This year we are adding a couple of history nights at the Wildish Theater with grant funds. Library Operations, represented by the staff photo here, is where all of our general fund personnel is allocated. The program also includes funding for marketing and development, as well as our volunteer program and tech subscriptions for library infrastructure. Library Collections is the program where we maintain our digital and print collections. The photo in the upper right corner gives a glance into the Kids and Tweens nonfiction collection. The backpacks and bags that you see hanging are themed bags that contain several books and activities all in one place, and they check out all together. There are a variety of themes and languages available, and they are very popular. And although not purchased out of the collections budget, the big green cabinet contains the always available programming. And these are games and activities that can be used in the library. This is also another very popular service that we offer. These are charged out of the library services budget, which is represented in the next photo in the lower left. The Library Services Program contains all of the direct services we provide to the public, including circulation of the materials, reference help, outreach to engage the greater community with library and museum services, and programming for all ages and in Spanish. This photo is from the wildly popular Plaza programs that we provide throughout the summer. Here we see kids getting up and active with singer-songwriter and dancer Okaja Afroso of Ghana, West Africa. Through Plaza programming, we have established a partnership with the Springfield Public Schools, where summer school students are brought to see the multicultural programs on the Plaza, and a few of the artists also go to summer school sites to have a more intensive learning session with a smaller group of students. This has been a really successful program, and it's made possible through grant funding that's shared by the school district. And finally, in the lower right, we see a picture that represents the Springfield Arts Commission. This is a council-appointed group that promotes arts in the city and often collaborates with the library and museum to connect the community to cultural events. One of the tasks that the Arts Commission is given is the maintenance of the city murals. This year they facilitated and funded the restoration of the Moderns mural at 6th and Main, and you'll see a picture of that here. This slide shows the organizational chart for our department. We have 16 FTE. We also have current grant funded funding for on-call positions that help cover service desks in both the library and the museum. In addition, for FY25, as I mentioned before, we will have 0.5 grant-funded museum collections technician. And this position is helping to reduce a large backlog of work in the museum collections, from locating and cataloging artifacts to digitizing photos. And we will also have a 0.5 grant-funded summer support tech who will support our pop-up library events and summer reading programming. The boxes with the bright green borders are the groups who help support the library and museum, as well as a couple of groups who we help support. The Arts Commission liaison is staffed out of our department, along with the liaisons for both the Library Advisory Board and the Museum Committee. The Library Advisory Board and Museum Committee are both city-appointed groups, and along with the Teen Advisory Board, provide citizen oversight and support to the library and museum. The Friends and the Foundation raise funds to support the department initiatives and services. And the Lane Council of Libraries, or LCAW, is supported by the Library Tech Specialists. Together with these libraries, we share an integrated library system which allows us to share materials. The IGA for this pays a portion of the tech specialist salary. The proposed budget for the Library Department for FY25 is $2,656,446. This is broken out by funds on this slide. The library is predominantly funded by the 100 or general fund, with the majority of that funding supporting personnel costs. You'll see capital outlay noted here, and that's for library collections. And the 204 fund, or the Gift and Memorial Fund, is where we hold grants and gifts that support the library and museum. The library and museum apply for a number of grants each year and also receive funds from our support groups, the Friends and the Foundation, as well as from the general public. Personnel here pays for the on-call library staff. And the 208 fund, or the Transient Room Tax Fund, is the budget that supports the Museum and Arts Commission operations. 2 FTE are supported from this fund. On the next slide, you'll hear from Library Manager Carrie Shendley-Couples.
The library and museum run with the support of many generous volunteers. You'll see them reshelving the hundreds of thousands of items checked out of the library each year, or maybe putting up the newest exhibit in the City Hall Art Gallery. Our friends of the Springfield Library and History Museum raise funds for on-call staffing, teen programming, collections, and technology. Their well-run fundraising includes the successful and fun annual book sale held in City Hall, and also reselling gently used puzzles. They accept donations. The Springfield Library Foundation raised funds this year for the library to purchase furniture for our public spaces. In the photo to the left, Foundation members prepare for Books and Brew. The 2024 event was the most successful so far, netting $45,000. This year, they also developed the Champion program as an additional path for local organizations to donate at varying levels to support programs and collections that would not be possible without philanthropic funding. This year, our council-appointed Library Advisory Board began a bookshare program, lending curated boxes of books to local senior care facilities. They also initiated our participation in the Oregon Library Passport program, which allows legally established libraries to share services with each other. We truly appreciate all our volunteers and thank them for their time.
Hello, I'm Lucinda Gustafson, and I'm the Associate Manager over Public Services. We made some exciting accomplishments in fiscal year 2024. As seen in the first picture, we funded a limited duration museum technician to help with cataloging, scanning, and preserving the museum's artifacts, with the goal of protecting our past and making the collection more accessible to the public. In the second picture, you'll see our much anticipated remodel project began. We are adding 3 new meeting rooms for public use, a larger teen space with separate areas for study and socializing, a larger area for our Friends of the Library and Museum store, new service desks, and more efficient workspaces for staff. Thanks to an LSTA grant, We also strengthened our coalition with the Lane Council of Libraries to create efficiencies and increase access to services for our patrons. In fiscal year 2025, we are very excited to be able to expand the number of pop-up library events we offer, made possible by grants from the Oregon State Library and the Oregon Community Foundation. We will continue to refine and streamline our communication plan, both for internal communication and for telling our story to the community. As a public library, it is also important to have effective and purposeful trainings to give our staff the skills they need to serve our diverse community. And we will kick off the new fiscal year by reopening the History Museum in July, after the 6-month closure, to dedicate time to the backlog of collections care.
So what's coming next? Well, looking forward to the coming years, we will focus on completing the renovations to the library and evaluating the effectiveness of the new spaces. And we will continue to focus on community support and engagement. We anticipate being able to provide some co-location services with other agencies once the new meeting rooms are in place. So for instance, if senior law services want to meet with people at the library, we would have a space for them to do that. And we will be refining our response to emergency community needs for resources and space. For example, we saw this need during the recent ice storm, and the picture that's in the top here is when from one of the days that absolutely all of our library computers were full, every seat in the house was full, all the outlets were being used. We had over 5,100 people come through the doors of the library during 10 days in January. So we were really happy to be here to help the community out with space and technology needs. We will also focus on efficiency, so we'll continue to streamline our internal information storage and access with consolidated platforms, enhanced data collection, and refined communication plans. And as always, we're always thinking about our collections budget. We have both print and digital to consider. The picture here shows a book in the print form as well as on Libby, our online database for ebooks and audiobooks. So there continue to be core library materials in both the digital and print format that whose costs increase every year. And so we'll continue to look for cost savings, such as with the Oregon Digital Library Consortium, to offer a sizable downloadable book collection, and with the Lane Council of Libraries to share physical materials for free among our patrons. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this budget presentation. If you have any questions or need any clarifications on our budget information, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you don't already have one, we invite you to get your library card. Thank you very much.